You feel me? We gonna enjoy life. That's what it is. You see, we got fruit, we got the Bel Air, we got the rum, you know what I'm saying? And you know, when we make toast, our toast we always say to each other is healthy and wealthy.
Healthy and wealth, health and wealth.
Because it ain't nothing else more you can ask for. So, but while we here, let's get everything that's on the table.
Everything.
You feel me?
Everything.
I even pray like that.
That's real.
I even pray. I tell God I need it all. Give it to me.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Give it all to me and make sure I can handle it.
There's nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Okay then. Everybody. Okay.
What you just dropping an album, Wale's on the way, Meek's on the way. I spoke to Meek. Meek got something dropping.
Yeah.
Is there another self-made disc coming? And I know a lot of fans want to see a few additions, namely Dej Loaf.
We gonna drop a self-made 4.
We need that.
That's something that we always come with after, all the big homies come. So after Wale put his on the street, Shine, Meek Mill put his on the street. Gunplay, he cooking up. Shout out to Omarion, Rocky Fresh as well. Shout out to Guwap. We doing we doing a new film.
Catch me in that.
Yeah, of course. All my squad, all my gang gonna be in that. As far as it's been a lot of people been hitting me talking about Dej Loaf.
I think that she sounded so like what you're not just a rapper. You kind of like a producer, arranger. You get the best out of artists a lot of times. 'Cause a lot of times people don't want to get killed by you, and a lot of times you set the vibe up to where they flourish in the right situation on the right song. So hearing her on that, people was like, no, she got to get with the team because it sounds. This is one of the best I ever heard of.
I think it really surprised a lot of people.
A lot of people.
I think, people hearing Maybach music 5 days low. Not saying that, I just think it surprised them. They never heard us really side by side.
Yeah.
And it was really fly, So I talked to her actually yesterday. It was actually her birthday, so, happy belated. But, that's just that chatter, you know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna put that on nobody.
Recently, before we had a change of presidents, you was invited to the White House. Look at me, pocket full of weed inside the White House. We heard it. But what was that like, just to be in that environment? What gems, if any, did Barack pass on to you? What did you take from that situation?
First and foremost, I saluted the big homie. I said he invited me in the White House while I'm on ankle monitor.
That's right. Fighting
a life sentence, 12 felonies, but he knew my position. I think he understand who I was. And the conversation that we had was really just less about his position and more about, I think our position is in the streets and, role models and, it was just some big boy talk. Shout out to the little homie Chance the Rapper. That's where me and homie met for the first time and, little light discussions. And it just went around the room and it was just all about, what we could bring to the table as entrepreneurs and bosses where we from. And I told him, I'm gonna keep doing what I do, you know what I'm saying? And I sat back and I enjoyed the conversation, and that's until my ankle monitor actually, it went off.
Did it really go off?
It did. And it went off. I looked to my left and a Secret Service person, because we got no electronics, so it's nothing that's supposed to be beeping.
Yeah, so you're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. I ain't gonna say what happened next, but they most definitely had to look into it. Yeah, but the sit down with the OGs, Swiss, Khaled, Buster, Janelle Monáe, and it was just, representing a lot of different areas, but, the story was common. The message was the same. I thank the big homie, Barack Obama, for taking that time out and, bringing some young brothers and sisters together. I kept my napkin in my
you got
spoon
to.
and forks.
You got to. I'd put an extra one in my pocket.
Yeah, everything that said Rosé.
Oh, had your name on it?
Well, Rick Ross, I took all of them.
That's crazy. Now, you own a lot of businesses. You're handling a lot of people's career, and you're doing it without any type of scandal or any type of claim that people say, oh, he's shortchanging me. How do you manage to just stay above the chatter and not just get involved in any of that?
You got to understand that, what I live by, You know, loyalty is something that it's more than a word, and I think me and Khaled relationship has been an example of that since '05 for anybody that's been looking. You know, I still champion my brother, even when I'm laying up in the bed and, you know, I see him come across the screen 4 in the afternoon with a TurboTax commercial.
It's amazing.
I text him right then, like, why, you know, I'm proud of you, homie, you know what I'm saying? What Assad doing, you know what I'm saying? You know, because Assad calling the shots, but, you know, it's all about supporting one another. And, you know, we've been letting our actions speak, you know, speak for itself. And by me saying DJ Khaled being my brother, you know, he did a partnership with Cash Money and Birdman, and you know, I feel like I somewhat became a part of that. You know, my level of support with my brother, and you know, my genuine respect I gave, you know, Cash Money, and you know, like I say, if it ain't mine, I don't want it.
But if it's mine, you got to give me all of it.
Oh yeah, I'll die for it. And so that was one of them situations, and you know, I spoke on it. I could have went much deeper, but you know, I addressed the things I felt needed to be addressed.
And I don't see it as a diss at all. If a nigga say you eating fruit, that's not a diss. You're actually eating fruit. It's straight up.
It's straight up and down, and you know, if you could come and take the plate from me, let's see. So it was just one of them things that I watched my homie walk away from something that was owed to him. You know, and he in a blessed position, but as I watched everybody else that was affected, you know, I just felt like, yo, it's not right, and I felt like I should say something.
There's another line on the album. I just want you to walk me through how a boss handles it. You said I had a phone call with Drake to address the madness. How does one, not specifically, nobody's asking what was said or whatever, it's not a gossip site, but how does you being a boss objectively come to that situation?
It's one of the things where differences will always be, you know, in this game. It's a competitive sport.
Yeah.
And I actually think I perform better under competitive conditions.
We've seen that.
You know,
we've seen that.
I wake up a little earlier, I go to sleep a little later, you know what I'm saying? You know, I might go shopping a little more, I might go buy a new whip, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, it's different ways to play. But once again, I always felt like when Meek and Drake did begin to have, you know, slight differences, I'm pretty sure if Drake was with anybody else camp other than Cash Money, I may have been more vocal about it. But, you know, I seen it was the two little homies. I seen what it was. You know, it was smooth. I ain't tripping. But once again, the disconnect with what was going on over at Cash Money was even more obvious to me. You feel me? And, you know, I always felt respect is a major thing. And, you know, you came to the city, I showed you a lot of love, and I did that out of
love.
Yeah, that's just me how I was raised. It wasn't because, you know, me sitting down, actually sitting down with Drake. It was really just
bosses having a conversation.
Yeah, we wasn't even discussing anything negative, because by the time we get in the room, there's so much other things going on that is already, let's get on some money. You feel me? But I had to just make sure we sat down to have some sort of understanding.
That's what real bosses do.
I mean, most definitely. It's all about trying to touch 9 figures. Anything going the other direction, you may get eaten.
A little bit about your story sometimes goes overlooked. You 9 albums in, everybody knows you from coming out with Every Day I'm Hustling. But before that, you was grinding and you were paying your dues. You was with Suave House, Tony Draper, you was with Slip and Slide. Speak to me a little bit about how close you were to actually walking away from music before you caught Every Day I'm Hustling.
closer than anybody could imagine. I had been writing music for years in the studio. You got to understand, being from Miami, what was lucrative in Miami was go, 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 go.
Bass music, booty music.
Go, go. I love that. I walk in the party, I love that too, but that's not what I did.
Yeah.
I was thinking about jewels, you know what I'm saying? Mansions, estates, acres, you know what I mean? And that wasn't really my vein. So the music I made, it didn't, you know, no one took as being lucrative and no one really looked at. So I was really overlooked for maybe 10 years. But everybody seen my pen game. Yo, do this for me, you know? So I began doing little things here and there, and that's what got me in the studio with Kanye. That's what got me in the studio with so many different people at a early stage. You know, I remember me and Kanye sitting at the Trina Ludacris video. Everything gonna be all right. We sat there. He made the beat. I sat in the studio. She had some ideas. I helped her just arrange her ideas, and you know, me and him go back outside. Then we went to the video shooter. We pull up the video. You don't even see me. You know what I'm saying? We sat around that joint 15 hours trying to get a little look. You know what I'm saying? I remember just getting to a point where I was riding with some of my homies, and we actually was, you know, hustling. And I remember saying, this not gonna last. This hustler's not gonna last. We're gonna go to prison, man. It don't even matter how much money we make every day. It's still just, we wake up and it's just the same thing every day. This not gonna last. And I was like, this music, I don't even wanna do it no more. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I was vibing. I'll never forget when I got that beat from the Runners, Every Day I'm Hustling. I was like, yo, this different. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I was like, yo, this different.
Did you know as soon as you heard it?
As soon as I heard the beat, and I knew it because I wrote the song different. 22s, 22, 22, 22. Then I went to the next verse. You know, I rapped different. I structured it different.
Yeah. Okay.
And it took off. And that's when I instead of just writing music, writing raps, like I used to just write 10 songs a day, I began to actually listen. You know, let's structure it. Let's do this, let's do that.
Right now in hip hop, you're regarded as one of the nicest lyricists from either coast, east, west, south, down south, everything. Who are some of the artists you look at growing up like, yo, this dude is nice, yo?
You know, I go all the way back. You know, I'm a real historian, man.
Hip hop, yeah.
So when it comes to music, I could talk about any coast, any years, I remember when I heard Too Short for the first time, you know. I remember hearing Cool C, Hilltop Hustlers. I remember, damn, homie got on that red silk. You know, just, you know, it could have been MC Hammer just because he had on the Gazelles. You know what I'm saying? The 911s. It was, you know, whatever it was, I was addicted to the game, whether it was the fashion, you know, the music, the gear, whatever it was, you know. I just knew, you know, I had that hustler spirit and, you know, I stayed down.
Do you surprise yourself sometimes? Do you ever get a line off and like, damn, I listen to it back, like I fucking killed that?
I ain't gonna lie. Like, yo, nigga nice right there. You know?
Going to the Rather You Than Me, I know it's hard to pin down a favorite song, but what's your favorite song of the moment right now?
Man, I don't even...
I'm gonna tell you mine.
What is
Santorini Grace right now.
You know, and I'm glad you said that, and because I would have said that for you. I would have said that for you, and down to the title. That's why even the title, I wanted it, you know, just for that moment.
Yeah.
Santorini, like, yo, what is this, yo? You know, we kings, homie. We travel the world. Let's just close our eyes and you hear this music. Bink on the production.
Most underrated producers.
You know, I'm not even gonna call him most underrated because I think he just so space age. So many people don't know what to do with it just yet. You know, he done got too many hits off. So they know he nice, but when he go into that side
That zone, yeah.
of production, you gotta be a special type of artist to control that music and take it where you want it to go. So I feel like he got so much more to do, and just look for it.
I'm gonna get you out of here on this. What's some of the best advice you ever got in life?
You know, I always use this one. You know, I asked Puff that once, and he told me some of the best advice he ever got was ask for help. And he was like, sometimes you'll never realize you'll sit in a room 4 days in a row pondering an issue or a problem, and you haven't even reached out and, you know, spoke to the closest people around you. Because a lot of times those answers be right next to you. That's what those people around you for. A lot of times we don't pull the value out of them. We just see the surface. If they're around you, and they're around you, and they really are, it's for a purpose. So that was cool.